Good morning, the viewers of the live stream and whoever's watching after the live stream saves. Welcome to another live stream. We do have a morning stream today just because there's really nothing going on and I figured I'm not doing anything. Why not stream this morning? Yesterday's live stream had the least amount of views in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So another sign that we're deep in the bear market. The viewership is declining. People are giving up. And that's a good thing. We want the views. Obviously, that's going to be unfortunate for me, but we want the views to go down because it signals boringness. And when we get boringness, our BBWP will reset. And this deep into the bear market, when the BBWP resets, you're not looking for something good. You're looking for a very large move. And historically, you can see that it does lead to the bottom. Very interesting, to say the least. So, when we get nothing and boring, that's when the market basically sets itself up for the next move. And I think the last move of the bear market. Now, some people will think we're in here. That's entirely up to you. But we have indicators to tell us if we're in there or not. So without further ado, welcome to another live stream. We got Richard, Mania, Hail Caesar, Winners Media, Sam Storm, Emperor Doge, Craig Coates, Kentaro, Crypto Meowisis. Wow, he's up at 8:40 in the morning. Kevhead, Chinatown, Umal's in the chat. Out of bed early. I get up at 6 a.m. every single day, young man. I like what we're seeing. I do. I really hope we get this rally. I think the setup that we have should be enough, personally. At least for me. I don't know if it's going to be exact, but it could be. This is essentially what's been going on, the whole bear market. So it would be really nice if this happened, because I think realistically it would probably look like this. If it did happen, it might not happen. Maybe we go down after today, but I think we would get one more little spike and then we would go down. No, I mean, obviously it's not going to look like this either, but I would be shocked if we just went straight down like that. If something along the lines of this is essentially what the plan is. I mean, we just saw in 24 days, we fell by 28%. So if the projected bottom is going to be at the end of the year, or at least in October, how many days is that? 117 days from today. If we measure backwards, 117 days. Yeah, right here. 117 days from here. Yeah, we could get one more little baby rally here. Right? It's not impossible. It happened both times. There was one more little baby rally. This happened to be August. Was this also August? No way. September. Okay. So maybe, hey, you want to hear some hopium? Maybe the months are moving, right? So this rally was in September and this bottom was in December. This rally was in August and this bottom was in November. So maybe we get our little rally in July and our bottom is in October. Maybe that's what they're setting up for. And we can rally to the 200-day moving average. And we can rally to the realized price for the short-term holders. That could be what they're cooking up here. But I am interested to know where the actual bottom is, because now you guys are giving me bearish propaganda. I'm starting to commit to my idea that IBIT has to go underwater, which that's not my idea. Well, the IBIT I came up with myself, but I know a lot of YouTubers, you guys come in the chat talking about, or maybe it's the same people over and over. You guys think we're going below 40K. Technically, in order for IBIT to go negative, it has to go below 40K. So I'm starting to be open to it. I think this is what's going to happen. I'm really starting to think that might be where we're going. I think the perfect trap would be like 74, 73K. And we're so prepared because we're going to know that it's bearish before it's bearish, because the MVRV for the long-term holders will be bearish. Now, if they end up pumping it and the MVRV goes up, then we'll be like, all right, it's not bearish. But the fact that we have indicators that tell us before it's bearish that it's bearish is just a beautiful thing. Again, when we were up here, I remember making a video saying this is saying it's bearish. Now, I didn't know we were going to go straight down. That's not my point, but it doesn't matter because now we know there's only 3 months left. So another big rally like this without the MVRV, you're going to know A, that it's bearish, but B, there's no more time left. So this could actually be the last rally before we go straight down. Now, that's why it's interesting to know where the bottom is, because if it's at 38K, then we have to go all the way down, which is a monster move down. If it's at like 44K, then it's not as bad, right? 40%. Either way, we've seen it before. Look at this. This one was 68. Sorry. This one was 58%. And this one was 52%. So we can definitely get a big 50% move down. 100% we could. Well, 50% I think is too much, but I definitely think 40% is on the table. My cats always wake me up. Yeah, I like the idea of having a cat, but then the drawbacks overweigh the pros. They're everywhere. There's hair everywhere. They wake you up. They don't let you go to sleep. So I'd rather not have one. What is my opinion on a good entry for MSTR? Probably 60 to 80 bucks, I think. I think 60 to 80 bucks is fair for MSTR. So I think I'm gonna start my plan. I think I'm gonna start my plan. I can't believe we're already in July almost, man. Pretty soon it's gonna be frickin' start of the bull market. So I'm going to assume. Now maybe I'm wrong to assume. Maybe we don't get that high. Is there another FOMC meeting somewhere? Oh, wow. Oh, there's a couple of them. Yeah, look at that. Oh my God, look at that. There's there's another FOMC meeting. I I'm telling you, man. You can't make I think this is it, man. That's so funny, guys. I swear I drew this freeballing it. I swear. That's too funny. I don't know. I think there's an FOMC on the 15th and then in October at the end. There was also an FOMC meeting here, though, remember? I forget. I don't remember exactly where it was, but I'm not saying this has to play out. I'm not. I'm just trying to prepare. I think it's on the table. So I guess the sweet spot would be here because that 618 retracement is going to be there too. And we know that the market is respecting this fib because look, from this high down to the low, we hit the 236 and then we pulled back. Now we hit the 382 and pulled back. So we should come up to 69K and then pull back. You know, these little pullbacks put dents in the momentum. Like if it was actually bullish, we would just go up. But the fact that we keep pulling back every time, I think is a good sign. I mean, I don't know if this is that big of a pullback, but we got something at least. I mean, I guess 4% is big, considering the range we're in. So maybe 72K. I think this is potentially the setup here. We would get over the short-term realized price, which would get everybody bullish, right? Once we break this, that's when all of the moon boys would come back talking shit, right? Because that's what happened last time. So once we break the short-term hold the realized price, which should be around 69,000. Yeah, there's a lot of resistance in this area between 69 and 72. A lot of resistance. I'm going to speculate that the top is between 70 and 73. All right, but when we get there, when we get there, we want to see the 5-day stock RSI hit overbought. It's just now getting ready to cross up. So we want to see the 5-day, at least the 4-day hit overbought. I prefer the 5-day because it's never been wrong yet. Technically in 2018, it did get there. Oh no, it didn't actually. Maybe we don't, maybe it doesn't get there. Yeah, that's interesting. 3-day stock RSI didn't even get there. All right, maybe it's not guaranteed then. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe we could still get it though. What about the 2-day? Did we at least get the 2-day? All right. At least the 2-day hit overbought. So We're almost overbought already, though. That's why I don't really want to use the 2-day. I think 3-day at least. We at least got to get the 3-day stock RSI overbought. And this is projected to be in the last week of July. I'm not 100% confident it's going to get up there, honestly. I mean, I think if we came down again, it probably would. Because it takes a little bit of time for it to get up there. This took 55 days. This took 50 days. I don't think we have that much time. Oh, well, I guess maybe we do actually. 45 days. Not impossible by any stretch. All right, so another big thing that we already talked about, which is already starting to come into play here, is Ethereum. Ethereum usually tops first. So if we could see ETH top early, there should be a call out button here. ETH topped on 417. And it also topped here. Is there any sign? You know, not for nothing, chat, but Ethereum topped early here too, just for the record. So this is a very common theme that we're getting here, where ETH tops a month or two before Bitcoin does. Did you realize that? ETH has been topping before Bitcoin every single time. I think... No, that didn't happen last time, right? Yeah, wait, Ethereum did top in December and Bitcoin topped in January. Yeah, they have been running the same play the entire freaking market cycle, where ETH keeps topping out first. ETH topped in December, Bitcoin topped in January. ETH topped in August, Bitcoin topped in October. ETH topped in December, Bitcoin topped in January. ETH topped in April, Bitcoin topped in May. It's been the same exact play the whole time. So I'm going to make the guess that ETH should top at least 2 to 3 weeks before Bitcoin, if it's going to be bearish. So we'll know beforehand yet again if Ethereum tops first. Meaning, if we see Bitcoin hitting all of the levels we talked about, but we see Ethereum struggling, we'll know it's another top signal. right? I can now label the same thing. You can see here, BTC top, January 13. BTC top. 04, sorry, 10-4. And May, and technically it's May 4th. Right? And Bitcoin clears the high from where Ethereum opts out. All right. Yep, it lines up. It does. Okay. All right, dude, I'm freaking getting excited now. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. All right, next order of business. The long-term holder MVRV struggles. Also present. Listen, also present the entire bear market. Right? You see how Bitcoin was pumping off of the low in April and we did nothing. Bearish. Then in January, the price rallied and the MVRV did nothing. It made a lower high. Bearish. And then we just saw it again. MVRV did nothing. Bearish. It just made a lower low now. And the thing is, the price of Bitcoin is back over the low, but the MVRV isn't. Also bearish. You notice that? It's kind of hard to see because I can't really scroll on here, but yeah, here it is. Look. Oh, sorry. Can't even see it. My bad. Now you can see it. See how the low for the MVRV is still down here, but the price, yeah, that's bearish. I'm sorry. It's bearish. The price recovers, but the MVRV doesn't. That's bearish. When you're bottoming out, it does recover. See? It recovers. I'm telling you, this is a fake rally again. Look at this dude. Even here, it was a fake rally. Like the price going up isn't fake because obviously the price is going up, but it's not a true bull market. That's the thing. Because obviously we made a new all-time high, so it was a real rally, but you barely made a new all-time high. So that means we can go back up, but if this doesn't go up, it's going to come back down. That happened it happened in this bull market. Obviously, we made a new all-time high in price, but this explains why nobody made any money because nobody was actually buying anything other than Bitcoin. But the long-term holders weren't buying Bitcoin, or at least they didn't believe it, which is why most of our net worths peaked over here. And it does explain why many people made a lot of money here, because when the MVRV goes parabolic like that, that's typically where all the money is. See how in 2020 everyone got rich in November all the way to March? And in 2017, everybody got rich the whole time? We don't have that anymore. The long-term holder bull run is shrinking, man. That's the summary here. So you have to get out when the MVRV for the long-term holders is going straight up, which was right here. Yeah, I think we're going to be very prepared this time. I think we're going to be very prepared. And the next move down is going to make the MVRV red, meaning it's the bottom. So we know the next move down is the bottom. Well, assuming it gets there. Obviously, if it's a small move down. What I mean is we know that the macro move is the last one. Like, there's not going to be another one after this. That's it. So wherever the price gets in this stretch, that's where the bottom is. I don't know if it's going to be 35, 40, 45, whatever it ends up hitting, the mark a negative MVRV, that's where it is. There's no way the market makers leave all that short liquidity above 71K. Dude, I hope so, man. I think a rally to 71 to 74 would make everybody bullish. And that's a very blanket term. There's everybody as in people who are flip-flopping. I think that's what people mean when they say everybody. Because like there's people that are perma-bears and there's people that are perma-bulls, so they're never gonna flip. But I think if we got to 71K, that's where everybody would start saying it's bullish again, who's not sure. Like even at 71K, I would probably be like, oh man, how high are we gonna go? And that's where the top is. But we're prepared this time because we know that it's bearish because we just made a lower low. So if it's bullish from here, oh, I just spilled water on myself. If it's bullish from here, we're not going to get stuck at 70K or 75K. We're just going to blow right through it. So obviously if we blow right through it, it's bullish, right? You want to be able to pivot if you're wrong, but we wouldn't get stuck where it's bearish if it's not bearish. We would get stuck where it's bearish if it is bearish. That's the point. I think we could be bullish because look, SPX 6900 is pumping too. We might get this rally, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. This is the big one. I'm getting a little nervous. What if we go to 60K then back up? Yeah, that's the same thing. We can go down and then up again. It doesn't matter. As long as we come up here. If we sell off after today, we definitively know that we're going down. That's the point. If we come down after today, we know with certainty that this rally is going to fail. What I'm nervous about is if we come down like this and it just doesn't bounce. It just goes straight down. That's why I'm like, nah, I'm not nervous, but I'm skeptical. You captured a cat with a trap? Wow. Puncher's chance at super cycle? No, the super cycle has passed. Hopefully we get more information on the S&P 500 because that is going to add a lot of confidence. Like back here, we were getting red dots, so we knew we were going to be bearish. I hope that happens again where we start getting red dots, which I believe Nvidia prints the red dots first. That's what's been happening. I'm pretty sure Nvidia prints the red dot first. So if we could get a red dot for Nvidia, that would be a major signal. Yes, it did. See? Oh, yes. Remember the MACD too? Hold on. Oh, man, it didn't even move. Yes, remember? Oh my gosh, I can't believe we fluked on this. I remember saying that in 2025 too, the MACD's turning bearish. Yeah, this is gonna work, man. I think this is gonna work. Sweet corn and baby carrots. Yeah, look, the weekly MACD is about to turn red for Nvidia. It turns red for Nvidia first. I think we're gonna get it, guys. I do. Okay. I don't know if I should use the red dot or the MACD. I'm not 100% sure we're gonna get a red dot. That's the problem. Most stressful thing ever. They took him in and gave him medical attention. Wait, so you set a bear trap for a cat and you caught him? Wow. I mean, dude, you can just see like where the bear market's almost over. I'm so excited. I'm not excited yet, but I'm getting there. You could just see that the bear market is almost over, man. Not my cat, it's an outdoor cat. It's not a bear trap. It's not a bear trap, it's a cage trap. You trapped him in a cage. You should have made a YouTube video. Man traps cat with cage. Everyone in the comments will say that you're an animal abuser. What's up, Griot? Welcome. Earl has it all. Welcome. My biggest mistake was April 2020. Yeah. But you know what? I'm not even thinking about my past. I mean, I think about it every day, but like we're really starting to get to the point now where the next chance to change your life is actually coming. See, what's interesting is the 2-week MACD is doing the same thing it did in 2018 too, where it's like about to turn bullish and then it crashes anyway. See? So we could still turn bearish. All right, let me get back to focusing here. The S&P. So what do we want to use? Nvidia? I think Nvidia probably, right? I don't think we're gonna get a red dot on here though. I mean, maybe. Maybe we do get a red dot for Nvidia. I'm gonna take note of this, but I'm not gonna put it on my plan. Well, we didn't. Let's gonna take note. Let's see. Oh, I already have it. Okay. We got crypto rally. I appreciate that, man. 20 bucks. That helps a lot, man. I appreciate that. On my channel, I am giving away 2 portfolios when Bitcoin hits a new all-time high. What are the chances they go to 0 before I give them away? I appreciate the 20, man. That helps out a lot in times of despair. It really does. I don't know what the portfolios consist of. If they consist of altcoins, they could be worth something by the time Bitcoin hits a new all-time high, but it entirely depends on what they are. Some altcoins will not recover from their prices that are at today. So it entirely depends on what you end up putting in it, you know? Like if you have solid altcoins like Ethereum and Solana, then yes. If you have Chill Guy and Fartcoin, I'm not sure. It might not recover. If it's Pepe, it should recover. It depends entirely on what you have. It's very speculative. I don't know what's in the portfolios. It's all coins from other crypto influencers that are arguing with each other about their coins. If they're from crypto influencers, it's probably not going to recover because the way that a crypto influencer works is they attach their channel to a coin that they think will grow their channel. And I've done that to Dogecoin, as you can see. So if somebody's pushing a coin, they're probably attaching it to that coin, which means it's probably not going to recover. Some people were pushing H bar. It's not the worst, you know, it's making higher lows, but the top might be in forever. However, I would argue that if H bar holds the low, it has the same exact pattern as Dogecoin. So I can't be bearish on H bar and bullish on Dogecoin. I'm bearish on both of them. But if H bar holds this level, I would argue H bar could go back up. So it definitely depends on what the coins are. If it's like Shiba, then no, I think Shiba's done. But I appreciate the 20, man. That's awesome. It helps out a lot. Crypto Meowisis says when I give $20, it's not $13.50. Well, technically, it's only $10 because YouTube takes 30% and then the government takes 20%. But if I go through PayPal, I don't even, I just keep it all. But I think you have to make a certain amount of money on PayPal or they don't even take it. Alt season law of attraction, Biddy and Doge, Superman, and crypto gains. Are those the coins or are those the people? I can't tell. Those sound like scam coins, but they also sound like YouTubers. So I don't know. Old season, law of attraction. Yeah, they sound like Solana coins. No, I think this coin is done, man. Yeah, this coin is done. I would say this coin's going to zero. Supple, man. Yeah, these coins are all going to zero, man. I mean, oh, I have a chart on it back in June. Wow. There's always a chance that you get like a scam rally, but that's it. You know, is this impossible where it does the same thing again? I guess it's never impossible, but I would not bet on it. So I would say, if I had to guess, I would say probably not. That would be my answer. I think your coins don't go back up if they're all like this. But I appreciate the 20, man. It helps out a lot. I'm picking up the cat in an hour. I'm going to post a video of the story in 2 hours. You got to take a video of the animal in the cage. You should have set up a camera. Raccoon. I can't believe this guy just said he put a raccoon trap to capture a cat. Now he's capturing cats off the street. Oh, wow. Robinhood is flying. What the heck? Yeah, this is the weirdest bear market for sure. Yeah, man, this is nuts. What a weird bear market. Yeah, now I know I'm doing stocks, man. You could have bought Robinhood and just stayed in. Wow. What a weird bear market. Fireman for 55 months. I appreciate the sub, man. Thank you very much. Welcome back to BTC Whale. I sold all my crypto. I hope to get back in this fall. I appreciate the sub. Yeah, the way that it's looking, we might get one more rally, and that should do it, I think. Because there's a lot of good YouTube channels out there. I think on YouTube, people are afraid to give other channels credit because it's just how it is. But there are a lot of good YouTube channels out there. You just have to dig through the garbage, you know? There's a lot of YouTube channels that are arguing we could go significantly lower. Not many, but there's a decent amount. And I'm starting to agree. What I'm nervous about is how on earth are we going to get from 72,000 all the way down to 40,000? That's going to be one of the most nuts drops that we've seen. But only if you're looking at it from this market cycle. If you look at any other market cycle, it's not nuts at all. So that's why I'm trying to mentally prepare for it. Because it's very freaking... Look at this. Look at this dude. It's very possible that we just go straight down. I just think we haven't had it in so long that we're not ready for it mentally. But I think it's very possible. So I personally think we are going much lower, but you know, some altcoins may bottom and they might not go back down. So you have to be open to that. But I appreciate the sub, man. Vegeta says we're not in a bear market. It's a mid-cycle correction. Not financial advice. It could be, man. It would be the longest mid-cycle correction we've ever had. That I would say. If this is just one big super cycle, it would be the longest mid-cycle correction that we've ever had. This one was complete after 100 days. This one was complete after 100 days. Right now we're at 259 days. So you have a bag of VeChain? Yeah, I actually think VeChain is one of the coins that's going to zero. Yeah, I think VeChain is going to zero, man. It's done. I know VeChain was one of the coins that was pushed in 2018 and 2020, but it's done. If Bitcoin doesn't hit 30,000 by the end of the year, I will send you $365. No, it's okay, man. If Bitcoin goes to 30,000, I'll send you $300. You don't have to send me any money. It's fine. In my opinion, we're in 2018 and 2020, but extended. Yeah, I mean, listen, you gotta prepare, right? There's always that chance. I disagree, but maybe you're right. You gotta just manage your risk the best way that you can, and that's all you can do. I was thinking that though, like, what if we are in something like this, and this is what's left? Like, that would be nuts. I don't think it would look like this though. But could you imagine if we went back up there, how many bullish people would be? That was out of character. I don't know what that means, what you said, so I didn't read it out loud. Hold on, the rally's coming back. I'm actually really getting excited. I'm not excited, but I want to really be prepared for this. I really want to be just as prepared as I was for this. That's what I'm trying to do here. So I would argue we might have to go to our heat map too. We're gonna go right into our box, man. I think we got to go on the daily time frame, right? What color have the candles been at the top? Yellow and green. This one was blue. I don't know if this is gonna help us. Yeah, maybe. I mean, actually it might, right? Because we have the same colors. It was maroon and blue. So that means we should be able to get to light blue and maybe green. Maybe. Let me see what happened in 2022. I think we're past this part, though. I think we just got that. So what happened in 2018? Oh, in 2018, you did get light blue. All right. So we're looking for light blue. We're looking for light blue here. maybe green. Did we? Well, we hit light blue here, so I'll mark that. So I'm going to assume that if all of these are present, like not to mention that this was also at the 200-day moving average and the realized price that we have, the short-term holder realized price, right? That's what's interesting here. If you put these on the chart, what was the name of that indicator? It should be short-term holder something, but it's not this. Yeah, it's not this. Not this. Yeah, I don't see it on here. That's weird. Oh, it's called BTC. Oh, maybe I didn't even favorite it. Hold on. Yeah, okay, I didn't even favorite it. That's why. Now it should pop up. Nope, that's not it. Here it is. Yeah, so what's really interesting here is these moving averages show up. So actually, let me do this again. Yeah, this is legit. Hold on. Daily heat map should be light blue, green, or yellow. Right, so what's interesting here is, as we already talked about, these moving averages are gearing up to move right into the 618 retracement. So we should potentially be looking for green to yellow heat map right at these moving averages, because you'll see that most of the time when we're at these moving averages, that's what color the frickin' candles are. And it looks like the move back below the yellow moving average confirms that you're going down. That's also very worth noting. I don't know if that's proper English, but you see how we get over this moving average and then we turn hot and then we break below it and then we collapse? That happens every time almost. Not every single time, but every time we're in a bear market and we're actually going down. You see that? Yeah, here it is again. Look, it's like it almost acts as a neckline. Like once you fall back below it, you just go straight down. Yeah, this indicator's legit, man. Look, here it is again. It's almost like a head and shoulders neckline where once you break below it, you just flush down. And that's what just happened. So I definitely think it's worth monitoring. Yeah, here it is again. It's so interesting. So the market definitely knows that this moving average exists. But the thing is, it's not a moving average. It's actually it's a short-term hold or realized price. So that means people that like to hold for like 30 days or whatever the definition is, they keep selling every time they break even. And every time we fall below it, they sell, which is why we flush down so hard. Okay, I'm spitting some heat right now. Hold on. And that's why when we break the long-term holder realized price, we go down to the bottom. Because when we break the short-term holder realized price, the short-term holders capitulate. But when we break the long-term holders price, the long-term holders capitulate. So in order to mark true capitulation, we need the long-term holders to capitulate, and they're not because they're still in profit. That's why the yellow moving average keeps acting as resistance, and every time we break through it, we just flush right down because all the short-term holders are getting out. That's why they're called short-term holders, because they hold for like 30 days or whatever it is. So I would not be shocked if we came up to 72,000, everybody got bullish, and then when we broke below, we would go straight down because that's what keeps happening. Because the same people that FOMO in get penalized. We might not even get over it. We might get stuck at 72,000. But every time the long-term holders capitulate, that's where the bottom is, man. Like you'll notice that once we break the realized price for the long-term holders, it stops going down after a little while. You know, like there's no more, oh my God, oh my God. Like if you bought in at 3,600 or even 4,100, you pretty much nailed the bottom. So that's what I'm thinking, man. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it might be resistance though. I'm not sure. But something like this would essentially be what happens. I'm not saying I'm going to be right, but that's what we're looking for. All right, we got 2022, 2024, or whatever year we're in now, and then 2018. Okay. All right. This is a good indicator. Wow, that air conditioner's cold, boy. This could work, man. This could work. Could work. We got local liquid. I appreciate that a lot, man. That is awesome. What metrics are you going to be looking at for the next coin, for the coin's next run? You're going to be buying past bull run memes. Curious your thoughts, ETH or Soul meme coins on that. I appreciate the 10, man. That is awesome. We got Riser for 2 says Quantum, Guy High, My Die, Dyson, Scheisenhausen. Scheisenhausen. I appreciate the 2, man. That is awesome. I don't know what that says, but quantum computing to the moon, maybe? Scheis market? Scheisenhausen? I appreciate the 2. So for local liquid, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it matters. I would be surprised if Solana didn't run, but if it didn't make a new all-time high, I would be like, okay, like we know now crypto's a scam. The reason why I say I don't think it matters is this. Ready? I'm gonna spit some heat. Even though you already know, I'm still gonna spit this heat. When we finally reach that, oh my God, we're going to the moon area, if you bought meme coins on any chain, you basically went to the moon. If it was on Ethereum, Solana, and the reason why I'm dropping heat is because even on Scheisenhausen Avalanche, Scheisenhausen, this coin is Scheisenhausen, even on Avalanche and the Scheisenhausen market, when we had that monster run, there was still life-changing gains. I would definitely lean towards newer coins. I don't think old coins are going to be worth it, honestly. You know? But even shit Scheisenhausen on Avalanche went up. So I would probably prefer Ethereum or Solana, but I don't know if Solana's going to go back up. I could have an Ethereum bias because if Ethereum makes a double bottom here, there may be a life-changing rally. I think that's the hopium that people would cling on to. Like, if I were a piece of garbage and I was just a permabull, which I am a piece of garbage, but I'm not a permabull. If I were a propagandist, I would be pushing this chart, even though we know it's wrong because it's going up and ETH is going down. But I would be saying that Ethereum is gearing up for a life-changing rally. Because every time the USB coin goes up, Ethereum goes up. Now, we know that's not true because Ethereum has been going down ever since January. But this isn't necessarily something to ignore because I personally do think the next bull run could be good for many, many reasons, which is why I think a COVID crash would be the most bullish thing we could ever have, because a V recovery would confirm that we're about to get a monster bull run. And if this is true and Ethereum makes an even low, then technically this would be considered almost 5 to 6 years of accumulation. Meaning that if Ethereum forms a double bottom here, it could run. And if that ends up happening, I would assume the Ethereum coins would go bonker shit. Because the thing is, even on this little pipsqueak rally, the ETH coins, at least some of them, it's very difficult to predict, but even Pepe 2, remember Pepe 2? I mean, there's so many coins that we don't even talk about anymore that we forgot about. Remember Turbo? I remember Turbo followed me on Twitter, and then when they went up 100x, they unfollowed me because they were too cool, and that marked the top. Like, I would definitely say new coins. I think coins that are not out yet are probably going to be the better play. But as far as Ethereum or Solana, I think to play it safe, I would probably pick Ethereum, but I really don't think it matters that much because, as I just showed you, even in the Scheisenhausen, the doo-doo coins on Avalanche went up, you know? I would probably stay away from Avalanche, but my point is, when we get to that time where it's actually euphoria, I don't think it matters what chain you're on, if that makes any sense. Like even BNB, don't forget BNB too. There was a guy in my stream that just kept telling me about WikiCat every couple of weeks, and it actually went up. I don't know how to spell WikiCat. It's something interesting like, yeah, I don't know how to spell WikiCat. Oh, here it is. Like, it's very, very rare. Yeah, I mean, this coin, I mean, this is just luck. You know, you bought in at the bottom in 2022, then you got a 200x Scheisenhausen, and then you got another 10x. Like, that ain't happening. But my point is, when we enter the Scheisenhausen, everything goes up. So that's what I would say. I would say we can lean Ethereum for now, but only if it makes a double bottom. If it breaks the low, I don't think I'm touching anything. But either way, I'm not touching shitcoins until we reach that area of the Scheisenhausen, which we're not even close to. The Scheisenhausen is so far away, but it should be here. It should be right here. Like summer of 2027. So my answer would be I would probably stay away from old meme coins, but if I had to pick an old meme coin, I would probably pick Pepe. And for Solana scams, I would stay away from all of them unless they're new. That's what I would say. But I appreciate the 10, man. Helps out a lot in times of despair. Yeah, I think Chris sent me $5 yesterday, right at the end of the stream. I don't think he's coming today. Scheishausen. Imagine ETH 8K top. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. I think that if it makes a double bottom, we should get it. It should be a big rally. Remember us and Dogelon Mars? Yeah, I had a good plan for Dogelon Mars, and technically it would have worked out if I would have sold, but you can't go back in time. You know, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Everybody's a good trader in the hindsight, but I could have had 2 trillion Dogelon right here and then sold it here. I would have had $1 million. But I wouldn't have sold it. I would have said, "Oh my God, we're going to the moon," you know. So it doesn't even matter. You got to get in, dip your toes in the water. Well, once we go down to the bottom, that's when I'm going to dip my toes in. Again, if you guys think the low is in, I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. Maybe it is. But in my opinion, I see zero evidence that the bottom is in, so I'm not putting in any money. Because every dollar I put in, unless I trade, is going to go down. Do I think Doge on Mars making a comeback? I think it can get a retracement. But the thing is, Lan, listen, it's would I put all my money in? No. Can I say that it'll never go back up? I mean, you can probably be safe in betting that. But look at what happened to Kishu. Remember we liked Kishu and it did nothing? And then it just did a monster, rally. Dogelon Mars has the same chart. But I'm not going to bet on something because it might rally. That's the problem that we've had for the last 7 years. It might go back up. That's my thing. I think the issue with crypto is people assume it's gonna go back up. And that was my mistake my whole crypto journey. The only things that go back up are Bitcoin and SPY. Everything else is gambling. Riser for 2 says Deichenland, Gwyneth, DWM, Danschwerd, Ganache, Deichenhausen. I appreciate the 2. I have no idea what that says. Deichland, Gwyneth, D. Liam, D. Winnim, Danach, Word, Ganache. Scheishausen. I appreciate the 2. Vision is only all in or nothing. Right. So if I think the bottom is in, I will go all in. If I don't think the bottom is in, I'm not touching it. Exactly. I would rather lose no money than risk making a little bit of money. Did my Discord change? I don't have a Discord, my friend. The difference is I know Dogecoin will go back up. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I mean, again, it's not my job to convince you otherwise. Maybe you're right, right? I wish you the best. I don't root for people to fail. I think that's rude and not good. I think, I wish you the best. But I will not be touching this ever again. Yeah, look, this... Oh my gosh, this isn't even a... Yeah, no, we're bearish, man. We're bearish. Yeah, this is bearish. I wonder... do you guys think the daily RSI can hit overbought again? I mean, the daily RSI has been coming up to these higher prices. I guess we could throw it on there. It doesn't hurt. Right? Yeah, I guess it doesn't hurt to throw it on there. Daily RSI hits 63. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get up there. That's the problem. I'll mark it. Why not? Yeah, I'm going to mark it because if all of these things are present, then that has to be the top. Specifically, it went to 70. I bet there used to be one a few years back. I mean, there is a Discord server, it's just not mine anymore. I haven't logged in, I haven't typed in a Discord server like a crypto Discord server in I don't even know when. Probably February or January. Outside of the one that I had, but I messaged somebody. I didn't actually type in it. Because I'm gonna be honest, I think the crypto influencer days are over. You know, I'm at the age where the ship came and went. I blew my chance. And now it's more so about just trying to make as much money as I can and not ruining it. Which is doable. We literally did it. I mean, listen, the reality is it would be one thing if we didn't make any money ever and we just wasted all that time. At face value, we kind of did, but we didn't because we made something. We just didn't keep it. Like if you just sat here for 7 years and you never ever made any money ever, then you don't really have anything to learn from. But the fact that most of us made much, much, much money, we just didn't keep it. It means we know how to do it. We just got to learn how to keep it. And once you learn how to keep it, it's so much easier to make money because you don't have to keep starting over. And the fact that in 2021 and 2024, most of us made a lot of money, it means we can do it. We just have to stop giving it back. And I think we're ready this time. I think we're ready this time. Crypto Meowsis says we're going to pick up the cat. You got to post a video of your cage. Got to keep your energy focused. I mean, that to an extent, but I'm just kind of over the hill, you know, mentally, channel-wise too. And it's not a bad thing, you know, like you should know when to walk away from something. And I'm not saying that I'm walking away from YouTube. I'm still here, aren't I? It's just the whole Twitter and Discord and this, that, the other thing. It's a young man's game, and it's also someone who loves crypto. I don't. I need to make money. I don't love the whole process anymore. You know, that's the difference. The only way to make money is by clicking buttons, pretty much. Or by buying stocks. Wait, let me check this too. Do we got any signs on Tesla? Oh, wow. We made a significant lower high on Tesla. Wow, look at the rally this thing just had. I guess that's nothing. SOXL did a 10x. Oh, it did a 5x. Yeah, I wonder... Is Facebook still bearish? I think it is, right? We just looked at it 2 days ago. Yeah, we're bearish. Meta tells me that we're bearish. Think about it. Why would we be having a real bull run and not have Meta pump? It's impossible. I think we're getting ready. Yeah, we're getting close, man. When Meta turns bullish, then you'll know the bull market is about to start. Meta is still bearish. Meta's only 1.4 trillion. So if it collapsed by like 30 or 40%, that would put it at like 800 billion. Dude, Meta, there's no way that these doo-doo AI stocks are worth more than Meta, man. Meta is like the OG. No, it's funny because a lot of these stocks have been around before Meta. But I'm just talking rubbish. Walking stream? Probably never. I'm telling you, those days are over, man. I mean, never say never, right? But I think I'm over the hill finally. Doesn't mean I'm gonna stop making content. I'm just gonna put out content and not care what happens, you know. Maybe that's a good thing. Definitely a black swan for the numbers below. Yeah, I just hope it's not until after August. The Moonboy chart, which I'm not talking about it in detail anymore. If you know about it, you know. If you don't, that's okay. You don't have to. But even after the orange line, we've turned bearish. And it's like, dude, if you just look at the S&P 500 with this too. That's how I know it's not a scam. Like we're always going up into the orange line. Now, there's no question we went parabolic here. So it's not perfect. It's not. I'm not going to pretend that it is. But I think this is supposed to be... Wait, hold on a second. What do I got? What is this white line? I don't know what this green line is. There's supposed to be... white lines here as well. There should be one in somewhere in here. I just don't remember where it was. But anyway, there is a chance that we could get a COVID crash. Because when there's a lot of distance between... Anyway, before I go on to that though, like you see how we're always going like really up into the orange line? We're always going up. This was the first time we actually went down back in 2016. So it's not perfect by any stretch. I'm not trying to say that it is. But I can't rule out... Because you got to remember, man, the next orange line is in August of 2027. So you're telling me that we're not going to have any corrections between August and August? We're just going to go up forever? I don't think so. No way. We have to have some type of correction. And the fact that we're rallying now, for Bitcoin, it's undeniable. That was for the S&P. For Bitcoin, it's undeniable. I mean, you're talking to the month, the orange line comes and we just turn bearish on the first one. The second one is bullish. This one, again, we topped a month prior. Here we topped the month of. Here we topped a month prior. I would argue that if we really do rally into July, we should potentially be bearish from August until like February. Even if the bottom is in October or November, we shouldn't actually go up until August. We shouldn't actually go up until March or February. Because you see how our bottom was in November and we went up in December and our orange line was in April. So that was 4 months before the orange line. This one we already discussed was in July, and 4 months before that was March. So technically 3 months, because I believe this was April 1st. I'm willing to make the case that if we actually get this setup, we might not turn bullish until February or March. And I know people don't want to hear that, but that's what happens. And the fact that the Moonboy chart is saying that, and it has nothing to do with anything other than the Moonboy chart, is interesting because the terminal price says the same exact thing, which has nothing to do with anything I just said. Even if you don't care about the Moonboy chart, which most people don't, and rightfully so, I'm not saying you have to, but you gotta care about something. You can't just throw everything out the window. And the fact that this also says that you have to spend 3 to 4 months down here just coincidentally lines up with the fact that we're still not below the realized price, which means accumulation has not begun. And if accumulation doesn't begin until we fall below 53,000, then if we don't break 53,000 until September, then accumulation is not going to start until September. And if we're going to spend at least 130 days down here, you're going to spend 4 months. You got October, November, December, January, February, 4 to 5 months. I'm really starting to be open to the possibility that we might spend a lot of time down here. It's very possible. And then I said this yesterday, you guys got to realize maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe I'm wrong about everything. But if we are about to get a COVID crash, it's going to take about 2 to 3 months to recover. And in that window, that's where Bitcoin is going to go sideways, like it did in 2018. The S&P recovered, and then Bitcoin went up. See? So I wonder, in 2020, you can see Bitcoin did definitely recover, but then it stopped. Like it just stalled. But the S&P continued. So the S&P would probably, I mean, even here, you could see the S&P is just a better asset if you're looking for the price to go up. Even though Bitcoin outperforms, it also outperforms to the downside. I think if this ends up playing out, the S&P should recover much faster than Bitcoin does. Man, you guys got to understand, if we get this COVID crash, it is going to be life-changing. I'm not 100% confident that it's going to happen. Is there any bear YouTubers that are also looking for a stock market crash? It's very hard to be bearish on the stock market because you just look like an idiot because it just goes up forever. But like, it always goes down when Bitcoin goes down to the bottom. So unless it's different this time, it should happen. And that's why I'm watching NVIDIA, because NVIDIA is our guiding light that tells us that it's bearish before we're bearish. And NVIDIA is not saying that it's bearish yet. That's the thing. We're waiting for it to tell us that it's bearish, but it's not, you know? It's an extended COVID crash. 2027 is the bottom. If we're going to stay down for a long time, wouldn't it be a great time to start getting in? No, because we're not at the bottom, in my opinion. I think the bottom is much lower. And let's just say I had 65K 900 for one Bitcoin. I don't want to get in and get obliterated. Even if I put in half, I put in 32,950. I would still lose $15,000. That's a lot of money to lose. I really don't want to do that. I'll go by the power law. We already bottomed. October, November will be a higher low around 68K. I mean, it could be, man, you know? I'm not telling you that you're wrong. Maybe you're right. But I'm not sweating not being in the market. So if it goes up without me, that's okay. You know, I'm okay with that. But I like that oil is coming down because we've had this box for like 3 to 4 months now, 2 months. And reality is, every time oil capitulates, Bitcoin goes down with it. So I think we're getting close to bubble boy bearish. Look at this. It's not even like bubble boy bearish. Sorry, not every time oil capitulates. Every time we're in a Bitcoin bear market and oil capitulates, Bitcoin goes down. That's what I meant to say. I think we're getting bubble boy bearish. We're getting close. Next, we would have to see gold and silver. Right? It's the same thing with gold and silver. I think we're gonna get it. Maybe I'm wrong though, right? I'm not sitting here telling you guys I'm gonna be right. This is just what I'm preparing for. Again, this is what I'm doing. This is not what the market has to do. This is what I'm doing. For all I know, I just wasted all my time for the last couple of days, and we're about to just go straight down. You know, then I don't get shit. I really hope that doesn't happen. No, I'm not even joking. I really do hope that doesn't happen. I hope there's a relief rally. You literally just said you need to make money and now you're saving. You don't care if the bus leaves without you. Yeah, because I don't want to lose half of my money by buying in right now. Again, if you're buying Dogelon and it's working for you, then that's good. But you got to remember that not everyone's plan works for everyone. If I can't lose any more money, I'm not going to be buying Dogelon Mars because I can't lose any more money. So if I think the bottom is not in, I can't afford to lose any more money. Why would I buy in? That's my question. And you're telling me that nobody knows where the bottom is, but that's because there is no bottom. That's the problem, man. You can't look at the stars and say, I know how far away that is. You can't see it. You know? Max Copium. We got a lot of Moon Boys in the chat today, huh? Let's start a poll. Let's see what the chat votes. Let's see what the chat votes. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Wow. Oh, only 12 people voted. Yeah, even the voting is down. Nobody wants to participate in my poll. But listen, at the end of the day, nobody knows for sure. If you're comfortable with buying now, then you got to do what's best for you. You know, that's I don't understand the pocket watching. That's what I don't get. You know, it's been like that forever. If someone is not buying or selling, it's like, "Oh, you're an idiot." You know, I don't get it. You know, if someone's buying in right now, then that's okay. I don't think they're going to be correct, but that doesn't mean I have to ask them, "Why are you buying right now?" You know, if they want to buy in, then let them buy in. Maybe they're right. You know, maybe we go up. The problem is, maybe if I leave the room, I get shot, right? The historical data says if I walk out of this room, I'm not going to get shot. The historical data says that the bottom is not in yet. So if you're disagreeing with the historical data, then that's more than okay. I just have no way to prove to you that the bottom's not in if you don't like data. That's the problem. I'm not buying in because I don't think the bottom is in. I'm not buying in because the historical reference points from 15 years ago say that the bottom's not in. So until they say that the bottom is in, I'm not buying in. And then you'll have people say, "Oh, well, you didn't get out at the top because the historical data points didn't tell you that." No, the historical data points told us to get out. I didn't get out because I said to myself, "Well, where is old season?" Not respecting the fact that these are Bitcoin indicators. They're not old season indicators. There is no old season. So I got wrecked. But because I had an intuition that it was going to be a bear market, I am less wrecked now than I was in January and November and October. And I'm hoping that, you know, if we can get this move, I don't know, you know, I'm not going to say anything, but if it's going to do exactly what we're looking for, I'm going to try and do something. I'm not just going to watch. Maybe I watch, I don't know. It depends on how it looks. Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Again, if you guys are making money by buying in, that's all that matters. At the end of the day, you don't have to convince me that it's bullish, and I don't have to convince you that it's bearish. If you're making money right now, that's all that matters. I am not losing money, so I'm happy about that. Because for me to make money, the market needs to do something, and the market hasn't done anything since February. So I haven't made any money since February. I'm not saying go all in. I'm saying 10% exposure. You can't LARP crypto and have absolutely no skin in the game. How do you know where the bottom is? Because you seem confident about it. I don't know where the bottom is, but unfortunately, I really don't feel like rehashing everything we've been talking about over the last three to 5 months. I'm assuming you haven't been watching the channel, which is okay, right? I'm not saying you have to, but I've explained it many, many times why I think the bottom is not in, you know. Which again, this is part of the whole YouTube aspect. I don't have the desire to run through everything, you know. What I'm doing right now is planning for the bull market and the bear market. And I would be doing this regardless of if I was streaming or not. That's why I'm streaming it, because I figured why not just do both? Why not live stream what you would be doing anyway instead of like being a content creator and trying to explain things, which I try to explain things, but I mean, your question specifically, I've explained it probably at least 50 times in the last 30 days, you know. There's no evidence that says that the bottom is in. But again, not neutered. If your plan is working, then that's all that matters. Like, I'm not even trying to be, well, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe like sarcastic or snarky. Like, genuinely, if your plan is working, then you have to stick to it. For me, I haven't lost any money since February, so my plan is working. And the only reason I lost money was because I didn't close my position because I thought maybe we would keep going. But I did close my position here because I told myself, okay, if we come down and make a higher low, I'm getting out. And I got out. And if I didn't get out, I would have lost everything. But I have not owned crypto or like I haven't owned crypto since October. Maybe November. I haven't owned crypto since this. And I think this is going to be the first year I don't actually buy crypto. I actually think, because I just have no desire to. There's just nothing there. Am I staying live for the FOMC? No, that's another hour and a half, man. I'm probably gonna end the stream soon. I usually go for an hour and a half to 2 hours. I don't really have that much. I don't have any skin in the game, actually. So I'm not as influenced by the intraday swings right now. But I'm interested to see where we get. The 50-week EMA is a dividing line. Yeah, but I don't think we're going to get that high. We're actually about to get a death cross, too, now that you pointed it out. The first two times it was bullish, and the last time it was bearish. So even the moving averages are starting to not work anymore. But the 50-week EMA, isn't that up at like 88K? Yeah, that's way too high. I don't think we're getting that high. I've been watching every video. You've used so many indicators over the years. It's very hard to believe you'll be able to time the bottom. Well, then if that's how you feel, I appreciate the feedback and I wish you the best, man. You know? Again, if your plan is working for you, then that's what you have to do. It's that simple. I can't convince you that we're bearish. You can't convince me that we're bullish. We're just going to have to agree to disagree. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I appreciate the feedback. All the bears are cooked after we close above 66K. Well, I actually think it's a little higher than that. It's the 382 in my opinion. I think getting over 67.3, then we're bullish. I think today would be really interesting because, again, I'm not a TA guy, but I would be like euphoric. I would be euphoric, like screaming, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God," like, "Oh my God, oh my God." If we came all the way back down to 62,000 by next Wednesday, and then we bounced. Because we know from this point, this is the last rally before we go down permanently to the bottom. Because if we're bullish, we should not come back down here. You might be asking why. That's because every single time we've come back down there, it was bearish. Whether you want to use this peak here, we came back to the 786. If you want to use this peak here, we came back to the 618. Whatever you want to use, a move back to the 786 or the 618 retracement is bearish. Because every time we've done that for the last 10 months, we went down. So until it changes, I'm going to assume that we're going down. Which is why if we come down here, you're doing exactly what you did every single time this bear market. It's not even a debate. Now, I don't know if it's going to go down. Maybe we do go up. That doesn't mean that it's bullish, but it also doesn't give us any bearish clues. That's the thing. Like, if we go right up to 72K, I'm not going to be saying, oh my God, this is so bearish. I'm going to be like, okay, what are they doing here? If we come down here, I know it's bearish, personally. I'm not saying I'm a know-it-all, I'm not. But I'm heavily speculating that it's bearish, even though I'm looking for a higher move. If I'm being honest, this is my best case scenario for me. The second best case scenario is we just go up. My worst case scenario for me is we actually just go straight down from here. Because then I miss everything. I get nothing. Because in the back of my head, this scenario was lurking where a lot of people probably started shorting once we broke the low. But I said to myself, dude, I can see it breaking the low and then it goes back up. So I didn't do anything. And here we are. And the reason why I said that is because of the Moonboy chart. Now, I know some people think the Moonboy chart is rubbish, but I'll be honest, I've only ever made money because of the Moonboy chart. And I always lost my money because I faded the Moonboy chart. My Moonboy chart said get out Q1 of 2025. I didn't get out. Technically, the Moonboy chart said close your position in February, but I tried to get fancy and I said, well, last time we went down a month later, so maybe we go down again. And I was wrong, so I lost a lot of money. Now the Moonboy chart says we should go up. So if we go down anyway, then I would have no position. So I wouldn't lose money, but I wouldn't make any money. Which is why I'm not shorting anything, because it should be bullish. But I have to respect that the 4-year cycle is more powerful than the Moonboy chart. So is there a scenario where we go down first and then rally? Well, I think if it doesn't happen in this week, it's not happening. But this is also possible. It's the same exact thing. I still think we're going to get a relief rally into August. But June is halfway over now, so if we don't go down soon, I don't think we're going down. Which is why post-August, I am turning ultra bearish. There's no way I could be bullish unless we break this high. If Bitcoin breaks this high, then you have an argument. But if we're in August and we make a lower high again, I'm pretty sure that's the last rally before we go down to the bottom. Because if we made a lower high, then that means we're still bearish. And if we're still bearish, then we're in a bear market. And so far, the bear market has been what it's done in the past when you're measuring from the halving and the top, which means the projected bottom would be at the end of the year. And if it's August, the end of the year is only 3 months away. So we would have to find out how to go from 70K down to 40K in 3 months, which is doable. Literally, you were at 48K in March, and then by June, you were at 17K. In 2018, you were at 7,200 in August, and by December, you were at 3,100. So we can most definitely be at 70K in August and then 40K by November. It has happened in every bear market. I'm just not 100% sure what the path is going to be, meaning I don't know if it's going to take this path. It might just go down like this. That's why I'm saying I would be okay if we just went up like this. It's the same concept. The point is, if we're in this box, it's bearish. Why, you ask? Because we drew the box 2 months ago, and we said that if we're in this box, we're bearish. Because we already looked at all the information. That's why the box is there. So the fact that the best case scenario now is going into the box, it makes me optimistic. But again, I want to reiterate, just because I say something doesn't mean I'm going to be right. It's just what I'm preparing for. So if I'm open to it going up, I'm not going to short just because I think it's a bear market. You can still lose all your money being bearish in a bear market. But we already spent the first part of the live stream preparing for what's bearish, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm ranting like this, because I was going to be doing this anyway. But now I'm doing it on the live stream so I can collect my super chats and my ad revenue. But this indicator alone will tell us if it's bearish. If Bitcoin rallies back to 78K and this shit still doesn't move, it's bearish. It's been bearish every time. You know, that's why these live streams are so helpful to me, because now I'm really prepared. I was not prepared for this, so I didn't do anything. I took no positions. I wanted to, and if I would have did it, I would have made something, but I didn't. For me, I have to be 100% sure, which is not necessarily a good thing, but it's also not a bad thing because you're less likely to lose money if you're 100% sure of something, because you don't take as many positions. But I was 100% sure we were going down right here. In the back of my head, I actually was open to this, where we like briefly break the low and then we bounce. I didn't say it initially, but in the back of my head, that's why I didn't take a position. Now, I'm also not a trader. So the traders made a lot of money on this, but I'm not a trader, so I didn't make any money. I made like 300 bucks. I would have made more, but I should have. Everyone says that. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But in my head, if I don't have 100% conviction, I can't do anything. That's why I'm preparing, because if we're at 72K in July and all of my signals are triggered, I don't know, I might have to just get in and close my eyes, just like I did here. All of my indicators went off. I said, I'm getting in, and then we went straight down. And technically, the indicators said get out, but I got greedy. And two, the momentum indicators got invalidated, right? I don't want to undermine that either. You know, indicators are not perfect, right? I didn't get out because I really thought the Gaussian channel would have worked, because it always does. This is the first time it didn't. So I'm not going to 100% say that I'm going to be right, but I'm openly telling you I might not be right. I'm just telling you what I'm preparing for. That doesn't mean I'm going to be right, you know? But I'm also not going to listen to the idea, well, it's different this time, even though I have no evidence. That's what I'm not going to listen to either. So at the end of the day, you just have to manage your risk, protect your capital. If you're making money, that's what matters. If you're not losing money, that's also important. And that's kind of where we're at. We got X4 for 30. I think that's $2, I think, right? Yes, $2 or $3. I appreciate the 2, man, or the 3. I'm not sure. I appreciate that. Do I think alts will eventually end up like Casta? You mean Caspa? I'm assuming you're talking about Caspa. Caspa is actually holding up very well, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. Caspa had a life-changing bull market from day one, man. Absolutely bonkers, man. Bonkers. But I actually don't think the bottom is in yet if we go down again. You see how Caspa kind of did nothing from January until November, and then it went down? That's what I think is happening again, where it's just kind of floating around, and then the next leg down is coming. The only way to avoid that is if it pumps by the end of August. So I think if Caspa's still here, it should come down here by the end of the year. And yes, I do think most altcoins will look like this. But I appreciate the 2. Casta? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what that is. I guess it's a rug. Yeah, I think if the coin looks like this, that is what's going to happen. My answer is still yes. My answer is still yes either way. I'm telling you, we haven't reached max bearish yet. Like, the fact that this is still going on tells me that it's bearish. I don't even know what this is. But we've seen it time and time and time again. Remember REN USD? Oh, man. Yeah, look, see? Same exact chart, man. It was neutral, and then they pulled the rug at the end of 2024. This is where most of us started struggling to make money. That's why the altcoins are so important to monitor, because when the altcoins are bearish, it tells you that we're bearish before we're bearish. That's why the fact that this rubbish is still going down tells me that we're still bearish. And I have a whole list of rubbish. Mog, rubbish, Popcat, rubbish, Dog with Hat, rubbish. Those are all meme coins, fair point. Bitcoin Cash just went straight down. Polkadot, absolute travesty. They all have the same chart. They're all rubbish. SWE. SWE's been going down pretty much since September. Telcoin is actually, technically it's been going down still, but it's holding up better than a lot of the other coins. Someone in the chat has VeChain. Rip to that guy. I don't mean it like to be funny. Like genuinely, I hope you find a way to recover. Just absolute rubbish. This coin's been rubbish for 2 market cycles now. This is one bear market here, and here's another bear market. It's all rubbish. And here's the other bear market right here. So it's just a travesty. This is called the Scheizhausen. Look at this one. Just as soon as the doo-doo coins turn bearish, we're bearish. That's why it's so important to monitor them. And the fact that they're still bearish tells me that we're bearish. I mean, look at this. These are like household name. Okay, this is a scam. But these are household names, man. Arrow is trying to recover. I know some people in the chat have Arrow. I mean, dude, Avalanche, for crying out loud. Talk about Scheizhausen. Look at this thing. Wasn't Amazon supposed to partner with the Avalanche? Just rubbish. It's all rubbish. So, yes, I think a lot of altcoins will go to zero, which is technically not possible, but it's just a saying. You get the concept. I think many more coins have much lower to go. And I could be wrong about that. I'm not saying I'm going to be right. That's just what I'm prepared for. That's how I would say it. So with that said, I do appreciate you all coming by. I appreciate the super chats. You guys send me a decent amount of money today. It keeps the lights on. I appreciate that a lot. I wish you all the best, genuinely. The Shadow Realm is not a happy place to be in. So hopefully we all find our way. And good luck, whatever happens today. As always, none of this is financial advice. I greatly appreciate the support. Stay safe. We'll be back tomorrow. If you guys see Chris, tell him I appreciate the $5 because he sent me $5 yesterday and then I left. And we'll be back tomorrow. Stay safe. Take care. And I'll see you soon.